Hi, my name's Glenn Hasselman. I'm just making this video for the users of free accounting software to show you how to process single touch payroll in free accounting software. So in the previous videos I've done some things like set up some employees and shown you how to set up new accounts and tax codes for things like allowances and super salary sacrifice and so on, but I haven't actually gone through the whole process from of entering the payslip through to lodging it. So that's what I'm going to do in this video. So you can enter payslips directly in this payslips page. That will automatically create a batch and add the payslips to that batch. However, I want to show you how to create the batch, and I actually prefer to do it this way because it gives a little bit more control over setting up of the batch or pay run. So going into batches, we see the previous batch, and you might have entered payslips for the whole year, so you could have quite a few batches listed here. If it's your first pay, you won't have any listed. So this was the week ending the 5th of June, so I'm going to set up a new batch for the next week. So to create a batch, you just fill in these details. I'm going to start with the from date and make that the 6th of June, and the to date the 12th. So that's the pay period. So notice I'm selecting the Sunday, so I'm starting on the Monday and going through to the Sunday. I have seen people select the pay period as being the Monday through to the Friday because those are the days that people work, but it's better to include the Saturday and include the Saturday and Sunday somewhere within the pay cycle. So pick the Monday through to the Sunday. So for the payment date, I'm going to pick the Tuesday, which I think is pretty standard. So for the description, I sort of stick to this convention of describing it by the pay period being a week, and then the end date being the end date of the pay period. Okay, and then the type says STP2. We can still lodge STP1 using this software, but going forward after 1st of August 2022, we shouldn't be doing that anymore. We should be using STP2. And once you've done that, click Save Batch. You can then add transactions, and there's a link here to the transactions. This page lists all the transactions that are on that batch. Since I've just created the batch, there's no transactions there, so I can add one by clicking New Payslip. Just got one employee set up, so I'll select that employee, and keeping it simple, I'm just going to put normal time, make it a 38-hour week. The software is using the employee's normal rate of pay to calculate the gross, and then it's calculating the tax to withhold, as well as it's calculating the superannuation. Since this is the 14th of June, it's calculating super at 10%. When we flick over to the 2023 financial year, from 1 July onwards, it's going to go to 10.5%. So review all the information, make sure it's all correct. Under this heading of Pay Event Info, this is the information that goes to the ATO. When I scroll down, you'll see the year-to-date amounts. So these are the amounts that go to the ATO, and the amounts on the payslip are the year-to-date. So not just this pay, the year-to-date for the financial year. Okay, that being all correct, I'm going to save that and click to go back to the transactions page. So I'm back on the page where it lists all the transactions that are on this batch. I only have one because I've only got one employee. If you have more employees, you would continue to click New Payslip and add a payslip for each employee until you've got one for all the employees. Okay, after doing that, then you click this link here through to STP Lodge. Okay, on this page we can lodge the single touch payroll. So it's got some basic information like your ABN name and address and things. It gets this information from the My Business Details page. So if this is incorrect, go and fix it, or if it's missing, enter it on the My Business Details page. If I scroll down, there's some payroll totals. Now these totals are the totals for just this pay run. Okay, so unlike the year-to-date totals on the pay slip, the totals here are the totals of just this pay week. In this case it's just a week, so it's just this pay week. If it was whatever the pay run is, it's that. Okay, there is a payer declaration, and there are other lodgements in the software, and whenever there's something to lodge, you need to tick a box to agree to the pay or to the declaration. Select your machine credential and put in your password. There is a button here to lodge the batch, and so when I click that, it'll go and lodge it. So it sends the information to the ATO, and it's a batch lodgement process, so it is actually going to do it in two steps. One is to send, and then the second step is to poll for updates. So currently the batch status will be on sent. Okay, so we don't yet know, we've sent it, but we don't yet know if there was errors or it was lodged successfully, and the software is going to check at predefined intervals for that result. Okay, hopefully it will refresh soon. It tells you it was going to do in 68 seconds. It does feel like a long time when you're just waiting. Now, that has checked. If you were looking closely, it's refreshed the page and not found that the ATO has processed it yet. So it actually take another, in this case, 61 seconds to do another check. And this is what can happen. So if the batch status stays on sent, the ATO systems might be down, and it could stay on sent for some time. And I'll do another video to explain what you do if it doesn't actually progress. We'll just give it a little bit more time, and you might want to like flick it ahead a little bit or skip ahead a little bit in the video. Okay, so it's now come back saying message accepted, which is great, and that's and if we look at the batch status, it goes to lodge complete. So that completes the lodgement of the single touch payroll. I have noticed that it, in the vast majority of times, it does actually lodge within that first 60 seconds. So it's actually quite unusual for it to take 2 refreshes. But anyway, if it takes, more than 24 hours, I'm not sure the exact rule, but if it doesn't go through and just stays on send, at some point you have to take some action to resend it. Okay, and I'll do a separate video on that. Anyway, I hope the video has been useful, and thank you for watching.